No sooner had the cottage door slammed, there was a puff of purple smoke, and little old lady was transformed into a terrifying witch.
No!
Black sleek robes flowed down from her thin form. Her face was transformed into one that was almost beautiful. Long grey hair swept down, and she had a grim expression with a hint of a smile starting.
What did I tell you?
I screeched at my bestie before trying to open the door to find, as I suspected, it was jammed tight. I reached for the lock, but before I could try it, the witch had waved her hand towards it, and the whole frame suddenly burst into a purple flame that singed my fingers while somehow keeping the door intact.
No, you don't. Hey, Apology.
The witch cackled.
Not exactly the gingerbread house, but you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I told you, didn't
Sarah
I?
grumbled. She hated admitting that I was right. Ever.
Right, okay. Well done. What do we do now?
Run! I screamed. In the witch's hand, a flame was forming, and she was aiming it right at us. Rushing past her, we made it past the half that made the centre of the cottage, towards the back past several shelves of ingredients, and the table with the spell book. I was shocked glancing at it that it was a spell for paralysing children to cook them. Thinking of all the scary films I've ever seen, I grabbed the book and hugged it to my body. It was as big as my torso.
Sarah, leave your stick, it's not worth it!
Never! This cost me 100 quid. I'm not letting no stinky old witch get her hands on it.
As we made for a small, crooked passage, Sarah was struggling to keep up with her stick.
Don't move.
Sarah!
The one word sent a chill up my spine. The witch had swept over to us in record time, and touching Sarah's hand, she suddenly couldn't move. All of a sudden, there was a huge yowl, and the black cat leapt up onto the witch's face and dug its claws in. I tried to pull Sarah towards me, but the witch had cast some kind of spell over her. She only needed a slight touch to her hand, and my friend was motionless. I couldn't leave my bestie. I just couldn't. Out of nowhere, there came the sound of a male voice. "Run, Jonathan, run!" Now! Trying to work out where the voice was coming from, I suddenly realised as I locked eyes with him that it was the cat. I did the unthinkable and left my bestie behind, rushing down the passage. After a few bends, I came to a huge kitchen. I gulped as I saw what remained of a leg on a chopping board, a carving knife next to it. A large cooking range was on one side of the room with an oven that of course could fit a whole person in it. Then I thought, were we in that fairy tale? Stop it, Jonathan, I reprimanded myself. This was real life, not some story. I rushed towards the back door, but it was locked tight, giving me no choice but to open another door next to it. A set of stairs led down from it. Before I could decide what to do, the door slammed shut behind me.
Wait.
I do prefer a nice cage to fatten my prey, but the basement will do nicely.
What will you do to Sarah?
It's not often I meet an untrained witch with such potential. She'll make a good apprentice. Now, sleep well. Oh, and we can't have you going hungry, can we?
I heard the witch's disturbing cackle. I cried out, trying the door to see it locked fast, and when I tried to budge it, the similar purple flame appeared, causing me to leap back. I heard her click her fingers, then as I slowly walked downstairs, saw a rough table with a feast fit for a king. Chicken, stuffing, roasted vegetables, and Yorkshire puddings. Then on the other side there was every kind of cake imaginable. Victoria sponge, sticky toffee pudding, jellies, trifles, mince pies, Christmas cake, everything. It was all so enticing. I hesitated. I knew I shouldn't eat the food, but it smelled so good. Then I remembered I had the spell book. I tried to open it, but to no avail. It was jammed shut. The smell of the food wafted over. It really did smell great. No, I am a strong, independent man. I will not eat. Was still staring at the food as if it had hypnotised me. I was sat against one wall of the cellar, my eyes nearly glazed over from staring at it for so long, when I heard a scuffle. There was a slight clang and a bang, and then a meow. Coming from a grate in the floor, I rushed towards it, lifting it up. Out pops the black cat. Its eyes nearly glowed in the dark, glinting as the reflection of the moon coming through a grate in the wall caught them. "Thank you for trying to save us," I thanked him. "You're welcome," the cat responded. I started at his words. I was talking to a cat. "Don't be so shocked, Jonathan. There is a world of possibility out there." "Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. Hope you're wearing your best clothes." Sarah would love you. She's a Harry Styles fan too. Although I never thought I'd see a cat that was a fan. He swatted at me angrily with his paw. "Ow! I'm not a fan. I am Harry," he hissed. "What?" I exclaimed. Accepting this surreal set of events, I continued talking to the cat. "We just saw your concert in Manchester, and you were very much there. Unless you could teleport and turn yourself into a cat, I'd say, nice one." I giggled inappropriately. He swatted me again. "I'm only myself when I'm singing, Jonathan. When I'm not, I go into this cat's body. Galena cursed me when I was a teenager." "Why?" "Me and some kids foolishly nicked some fruit from one of her trees when we were on holiday here years ago." "This has to be a dream." "I'm afraid it's not. Now, open the book." "I can't. It's jammed." "That's because you don't know the right words." "Really? Like abracadabra?" Suddenly, the book burst into life and opened. "Goodness sake!" I exclaimed. "Grelena's idea of a joke." He sighed. "Now flick to page 86. Flicking to it, I saw it was a spell titled General Anti-Magic Disenchantment Spell. Reading the description, it seemed to be a spell to remove all the magic from a certain radius. "Will this really work?" I asked. "It has to," he answered. "Now do it." "Will it work for me? I mean, I'm no witch." "All of us have the power to connect to the elements, Jonathan." "Okay." I breathed in and then began to read. The door to the cellar creaked open. I tiptoed across the kitchen, the shadowy form of Harry padding alongside me. "We have to hurry," he whispered. "Get your friend, then head out the front door." "Will it open?" I said. "Yes. Magic was the only thing keeping it closed. We only have a short time." As I stepped into the main room of the cottage, I saw Sarah in one of the high-backed armchairs by the hearth. A cauldron of something green and bubbly was gently simmering. Looking up to the rafters, I saw the witch snoring in her bed on the next level. Approaching Sarah, I shook her gently away. Sarah, wake up! Wake up! Come on! We've got to get out of here! Got to get out of here now! Come on, Sean!
You left me, you...
Family friendly! Come on! We've got to get out of here! Come on! We were nearly at the door when Sarah suddenly said,
My stick!
"Come on, down! Get down! Rushing back for it, she knocked something off the table. Turning to run for the door, the awful voice of the witch sounded.
So, where do you think you're going?
She cackled. Clearly not realising that she was magicless, she slipped from the upper level of the cottage, slamming down through the air and crashing into the floorboards with a thud. Bursting through the front door, we all ran for our lives.
Jonathan!
Yeah?
Why the bosses does that cat sound like Harry Styles?
Tell you later.
Okay.
Even Sarah managed a fair pace with her stick. Rushing past all of the cottages, knowing we didn't have long, we rounded a corner. There was an old church with a graveyard around it. "In there, now!" Harry yelled. All the light was gone, with only the moon to guide us. Clutching to each other, terrified, we wandered around the graveyard until... If you'd like to help us adapt this story, we're going to have a bit of a hiatus now, about 2 to 3 weeks, while Sarah is away in Canada, and we come up with the next part. Sorry for the bit of the hiatus, but we just couldn't figure out a good way to do it, and we wanted Sarah to have a break. So send your ideas into jonathansdiarypainting@gmail.com if you have any, or post a comment on the video that I'll be putting up on my Facebook group later. Thank you for watching!